right, what is up, beautiful people? It's Wolfbrother Ethos from the channel Frost and Fist, and welcome to this video. And of course, tonight we are streaming, and as you can see, it's going to be a solo stream. Of course, many of you heard last week and the week before that that Freak is in the middle of a big move. Just recently purchased a new house, getting his house packed up and ready to go, and with it being so close to his move-in date, and of course with some other family stuff, he's not going to be able to make it tonight. He's getting ready to pack up the house and get it going. So you guys are stuck with me tonight, and we're going to do a little hobby tonight. And part of that hobby that we'll get to in a bit is, of course, this right here. It don't even fit on screen. This chunky boy here. This nice heavy-duty box of goodness from Pagan Miniatures. Super stoked about this. I went on vacation this week, and my box from Pagan Miniatures was waiting for me when I got here. And so I'm so stoked about that. Guys, I have been waiting, I've been waiting to get my hands on this hobby goodness from Pagan Miniatures. You guys know that is one of the companies that I really, really believe in. They are my favorite company for Viking and Werewolf Miniatures. And of course, they got some other cool stuff too. So, how are you guys tonight? Like I said, I've had a vacation week. I have been chilling, and I've had an awesome week, guys. I want to know how you guys have been. While you guys let me know how everybody's doing, of course, we'll go into my hobby a little bit. So, a big shout out to my brother Oni, who of course hooked me up with the box, a Dominion, the Stormcast half at least, so that way I could get my hands on that brand new Stormcast goodness. So with that, you can see I've done a little bit of building this week. Of course, vacation kind of took priority here, but I got to get my Stormcast together so I can play some games this month. I'm going to Brother Oni's birthday, and Brother Oni is going to be doing up a big AOS day, and I got to have an army ready to go. And man, it is getting close to the end of July, and look at this. I've got 12 Stormcast done so far. It's 10 Liberators and 2 characters. And I've got these guys in gray right here. I don't know if I'm going to make it. Oni, what up, my man? I was just telling people how you very generously hooked me up with the Stormcast half of Dominion. So, yeah, I've got, again, I've been on vacation this week, so it's been a slow week for the hobby, but I did get these beautiful angel wings assembled, and I got 2, these bag boy with the big hammers and shields. So that way I can actually paint the armor that's underneath. I got the shields done separately. But yeah, keeping up with these guys. And I'm going to be working hard on getting the rest of the box built up. You guys know building is not my forte. Although this one was a real pleasure. I was really expecting this one to be complicated with the pose and the wings and whatnot. But it was actually a real pleasure to build. But yeah, so I've been working on getting some guys assembled up for Age of Sigmar games later in the month for the big Oni birthday bash. So, thank you, Bob Smith, and I hope you've been well. It's good to see you. So yeah, got Commodore. Happy freaking Friday, everyone. Got our amazing sponsor for the show, Oni Studios, and his print shop. Jumping in, and of course, 4 a.m. is super early. That is crazy. I'm gonna drop a link here, guys. If you guys ever want to check out Oni Studios and you guys are on this side of the pond, you can check out his print shop, and he's got some really, really awesome prints. All right, guys. So, what do we got going on today? Like I said, I've got some building here. I also, I've told you guys before, Brother Atlas is getting us into X-Wing, and I only had one ship so far, and that is Poe's X-Wing. And so I decided to look around and get some more models so I can actually field, you know, a little space army. And I looking around, I really fell in love with the shape of the U-wing, and I've already liked X-wings from, you know, all the Star Wars stuff before, some of the animated stuff, you know, some of the movies. X-wings are just cool. And so the U-wing looks cool, the X-wing looks cool, and then I also have always liked A-wings since some of the video games. But anyways, I happened to see this set called Saw's Renegades, and it comes with a custom X-wing and a custom U-wing. So now I've got 3 ships to my little X-wing fleet so far. So that's going to be super cool. And this one actually comes with extra wings I got to put on. I don't know if they glue on or clip on. You know, I get to do a little hobby in that aspect. And I like their black and white color scheme here. So I think these would be cool. And I'm going to have my first game of that on Sunday. I've got Brother Atlas coming over. Brother Atlas is going to be, we're going to have us a 1500 point 40k game. And we originally were going to do 2000, but since he's going to be taking the time to show me how to play X-Wing too, we're going to scale that back to 1500 so that way we can get a game of X-Wing and a game of 40k. This week I'll be playing my White Scars, so that way I'll have rotated through my 3 main armies this year. Because I got in a game with my Space Wolves, I want to say back in April. I got in a game with my Orcs against Brother Freak and Brother Oni a couple weeks ago. And now I'm going to get in a game with my White Scars. And I was looking through, and again, I wanted to make sure I took the things that I've painted recently that I haven't had a chance to play yet. So some of those things include Tartaros Terminators, loaded out with Lightning Claws, almost all Lightning Claws. One guy's got Lightning Claw and an autocannon. And then, of course, the Sergeant's got like the Plasma Blaster, which is, I mean, it just looks cool. The Plasma Blaster and the Chain Fist. So all together, I think they're going to look really sweet. I hope they do well. They're going to be escorting another thing I've painted up and haven't had a chance to play, and that's going to be Corsaro Khan. So they're going to escort the Khan up the board, doing their Terminator thing. Corsaro, of course, is going to give us Captain rerolls. He's going to allow my White Scars to add 1 to their wound roll. So even with those claws, they'll be wounding vehicles on 4s, re-rollable because they're Lightning Claws. That's going to be cool. And then, of course, the Sergeant's going to have that big Chain Fist to deal some real anti-vehicle damage. So, and of course, all those claws are going to grant extra attack. So whether they come up against vehicles or whether they come up against a ton of infantry, then they're still going to be mulching. Hopefully they last long because, you know, the way to take out Terminators is volume of fire, right? And I know he's taken a lot of bodies. I think he's taken all the bodies he has available for his army. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. What else am I taking? I'm taking my Invictor Tactical Warsuit. I'm not sure that's the best option against somebody who's running mass infantry like my brother Atlas, but I painted it up and I put that really cool Gundam sword on the back, and I haven't used it yet, so I just want to get it in a game. I actually took out one of my old favorites, you know, the Contemptor Dreadnought, just so that way I could fit that in the list. I'm taking, of course, instead of my Outrider bikes, I'm taking some old school bikes with some Melta, and then a Melta attack bike with it. I'm taking my Inceptors, taking, of course, my troop slot. It's going to be some Intercessors. It's going to be a good time, guys. Oh, and of course, the Chaplain on bike. I've played my Chaplain on bike for my Space Wolves, but I have a different one that I painted up. That's the actual Primaris model that I painted up for the Scars, and he hasn't gotten used yet. So I've kind of used the new Chaplain rules for my Space Wolves. I haven't had a chance to play the one for my White Scars yet. But yeah, so that's a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, and the Reavers, my Ninja Reavers, my White Scars Ninja Reavers. You know, they got all the hoods that look like the ninja hoods that Storm Shadow wears from G.I. Joe's, and they've all got, you know, katana, and one guy's actually got like double kama with the chain through. And I can't. I mean, I know Reavers aren't supposed to be very good in game, but they look really cool. I'm just gonna be happy to have my little ninja unit on the table to play with, and I think it's gonna be a great time, guys. Oni Studios. I really need to stop procrastinating and do some painting. Same, man, same. Although I was on vacation all week, so I got a little bit of an excuse for procrastinating. And the reason I was on vacation is because it was my grandmother's birthday this week. That being said, though, like, it's already the 9th. We're like 20 days away from our game, and I've got so much painting to do. Out of a whole 1,000-point army, I've only got 12 figures painted and based and whatnot. I really, really got to get going. I got to do some assembly. I got to do some building. I need to get my butt to work. But not tonight. Not tonight. Because I don't know if I can competently clip and assemble here on screen for you guys. Although, I mean, it's me, so I'm not even sure I can say that I paint competently on stream. But I'm doing my best, guys. I'm doing my best. But we'll see. What I'm probably going to do tonight, after we do the unboxing, is I'm going to work to finish up this guy here, Pagan Bodyguard to Ephrael Stern of the Sisters of Battle. And I noticed here, like right before I signed off last week, that's not a black glove. Like, I've got his glove over here, a black leather glove, and I realized this wasn't leather, and I checked the box art, and I realized that this is supposed to be an armored hand wrapped in like wraithbone or wraithbone gauntlet, and so I need to do it up in bone colors. And then I think this guy will be mostly done. I thought about maybe doing some airbrushing of like some fluoro blue, like onto the bricks here for the void gate he's walking out of, but we'll see. I kind of like the stark contrast, but I don't know. I also like a bit of OSL. So we'll see, guys. I don't know about that. We got hobby time with HP, my brother Heinrich Bafta, hopping in the chat here. Good to see you, my brother. Good to see you. I know it's super, super early for you too, my man. I appreciate you being here. Happy Frost and Fist Friday. So, that's what's on the bench this week, guys. And I'd like your feedback, guys. Do you ever feel like you've signed yourself up for too much? Your queue is getting too big. Like, I've got so much on the bench I need to paint like right now. Guys, you let me know. I'm about to turn on this fan because it's Texas and I am getting warm AF. If the fan starts getting too loud, guys, let me know and I'll turn it off. But yeah, so like I'm starting to feel just a touch overwhelmed. I'm not like hobby burnout overwhelmed, just like, oh my god, there's so much to do. You guys ever get to a point where you've got so much to do you just want to take a nap instead of be productive? Like that's how I feel. Like that's the point I'm at. I've got so much to do. Like, I've got so much orc stuff that's in my backlog, and more orc stuff is coming out next month. And I'm like, oh my god, I need orcs, but at the same time, I got so much else. I've got my Sisters of Battle Army that I've been trying to start for a few months now, and I've just now started to make some headway with that. Of course, I've got Age of Sigmar game at the very end of the month, and man, I need to make some progress. Look at how behind I am, guys. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so behind. On top of that, most of the heads are integral to the building of these guys, so they got like a really big hollow gap here. So for me to put on my Shapeways Knights helmets, because I'm not a big fan of the face helmets, I'm gonna have to fill in a bunch of green stuff and let that cure before I can put on the helmets. But yeah, so I got the Age of Sigmar stuff to do, and then of course I've got my amazing box from Pagan Miniatures, and I want to paint up all the Vikings and werewolves. And then I got some cool non-gaming stuff from our sponsor over at Oni Studios, where his print shop has put out some really cool gifts for your brothers over at the Frosted Fist, including X-Men statues, some busts, a frost giant that's got a really cool like Viking kind of feel, or like a Fenrisian god kind of feel. I can't wait to paint that up. Just so much cool stuff in the pipeline, guys. And I'm just like, oh my god, how am I going to get all this done? But anyways, I mean, that's a pretty cool problem to have, though, right? Like, you got just got too much good stuff. Something I want your guys' opinion on that has to do with my Stormcast. Okay, so you guys see how I do, right? So my Stormcast, they're the Anvils of Heldenhammer. Um, so they're black armor that I usually do up in some the edge highlight in the fang, and usually I've got like red accents such as their hair, their fabric. Ooh, keep that in focus, Mythos. Okay, I said that, and then I got more out of focus. There we go. But yeah, so like their capes, their hair, the weapon handles, a little battle skirt up front. Okay, that's my kind of my accent color, right? And so I had this. Oh, and then of course the armor is black and gold. So I had two thoughts of this, and I think I'm going to lean a little more in the cray cray way. This is what I mean. So of course I've got Angel Lady here. She's a beauty. Now, much like my other Stormcast, I think I'm going to do the armor black and gold. Okay, and then I was thinking, on one hand, the black armor and traditional white wings, shaded like I shade my white scars with that Space Wolves gray, get that soft gray gradient going on, would look pretty cool on the wings. But at the same time, I was thinking about it, since red is my accent Heldenhammer. Thank you. Since red is already my accent color throughout my army, I was like, what if instead of doing traditional white angel wings, we go for like a Magic the Gathering Archangel kind of vibe and do them as red wings with dark shading? And this is what I'm thinking, guys. So this is the wings that I've done for my Contemptor Dreadnought. And I've got them starting kind of brighter at the tips and gradually getting darker, and then, a really nice dark gradient here. So you've got kind of black and red wings going on. That's the kind of color I'm thinking of, except with these feathers here, how you've got multiple layers of feathers. Add that layer of darkness right under each row of feathers. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Why not invert the colors for her armor? That would be cool, except I don't like a lot of gold on my armor. And so I think I would rather leave her in the black armor, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking, guys. So traditional white angel wings like the box art, or go with the black and red wings. I'm kind of leaning a little more towards the black and red. Evening, my brother. Gamers with coffee. What is up, Greg? I'm moving too much stuff around, throwing the focus all off. Boop. Black and red. And I keep switching out for this, like just expecting you guys to imagine traditional white wings. You guys know what I mean, though. I like both, but I think I might end up going with the black and red wings. Go a little Archangel style. Got one vote for the white wings, though. Good evening, Ash. Good to see you. For those of you curious on where our Freakaliciousness has gone, Freak is going to be out for the next 2 weeks because he's super busy moving house and whatnot. He's got his big house buy coming up soon, and of course, he's also got some other family stuff going on, and as such, you guys are stuck with me. I am taking over while he's gone. Which, I have done a few of these painting streams before, and it'll just be a continuation that way. Okay, here we go. Switching back over. All right. Could always do only the white end tips more towards the white. Could always do the end tips more towards the white. Yeah, absolutely. And that's another thought as well. Good to see you, Ice Wolf. Good to see you. All right, so guess I should actually get to some hobby. And actually, I think I might dip straight into painting and then wait a little bit to get to these unboxing. Or should I just go ahead and do my unboxing now? What are we? We're about 30 minutes in. So that is my hobby update, guys. Got Dominion. Started on it. Progress from last week. Like I said, I need to finish with that bone gauntlet because I didn't realize that was supposed to be bone on her. Made a lot of progress on Ephrael Stern. Got a lot of the details done. The skulls for like where her boob plates are. I've got a lot of the gold, the white for where the skulls and her boot plates are. I got the gold done for like some of her jewelry here. Some of these grenades here could be a little more shaded around some of the lines and stuff like that. I'll probably do that a little bit more when I can hold it up to my face. I still need to do the power weapon effect on the sword, but I got the details on the sword done. Interestingly, I was like, so I brought up with some of the people I was in a chat with last week, and much of her armor is already, red and black, right? And so I was like, well, normally the case colors I do for the bolters are usually red or black, but I felt like it would get lost in the red and black that's already there. Whew, 4 a.m. in the Netherlands. All right, man. Well, you know what? I'll jump straight to the unboxing, and I hope you get some sleep soon, man. Whew. But yeah, so somebody popped up Brother Heinrich popped out the color wheel and said that a really nice teal color would really go well with kind of the rosy red I've got going on for her main armor color. So I did the bolter in that kind of teal color. And I was a little dubious at first. It was kind of bright, but then once I got it panel lined and washed down to blend in, it looks really good, actually. So really big thank you to Brother Heinrich for that suggestion. So this one is almost done. I really need to break out the airbrush and do the power sword effect. So that will probably be after the stream tonight. Now, what frustrated me is, you guys ever get to the end of a project and then mess it up and got to start over? Man, I spent like easily an hour doing the face, but I was trying to experiment with some stuff, some of it was, makeup stuff and stuff like that, and oh man, like I had it looking good, and then I was like, let me try just a little bit more, and a little bit more, and then, oh man, trucked it up. Kaiju, my brother, good to see you. And so I tried a couple times to fix it, and eventually I just got frustrated with myself and stripped it. But that's all right. Brother Rich from Spray Black Studios always says I can always just spray it black and start again. That's what we're going to do. So, almost done with Ephrael Stern. Almost done with her bodyguard. Just starting on the Dominion stuff. So we got us a plan. Before we get to that, though, shove all this to the side and try and make room for a box of hobby goodness. Oh man, I wish you guys could feel just how solid this feels. Like, it is just all hobby goodness here. Pagan Miniatures. Super stoked, guys. If you've been following our chat for a while, you know that I have been a huge fan of the really cool Viking and werewolf stuff, the fantasy stuff like the elves and stuff that the Pagan Miniatures has done. I've been on board for their Kickstarters. I've been all about that. The launch of their new Pagan Miniatures website, which is paganminiatures.co.uk. And by the way, this is not a sponsored video. I just absolutely love what they do. In fact, I'm going to copy it now. It's in the description below. But if you guys want a quick reference, right here, that's where these minis are from that I'm about to unbox. Super stoked. All right. So while I'm opening this up, I can also direct you guys, if you guys want to check out what some of their miniatures look like up close, or take a peek at some of the stuff on their website. I did do an advertisement the other day for a sale that they had going last weekend. It ran through the weekend and until Tuesday. So it was a cool little sale for the 4th of July. So you can definitely check out, and it's a nice little advertisement, I think, that came out for Pagan Miniatures, and I enjoyed putting it together, and I'd like to do more of those. Again, not sponsored, guys, just really like what they do. And of course, they've got some really cool, awesome, and attractive people running Pagan Miniatures. Alright, a little light washing out there, I apologize. But you can see, look at this, just packed to the brim. No wonder why it's so solid. I mean, it is literally full of resin goodness here. That's awesome. Oh, wait. I say resin. There might even be, actually, there's some, this is metal. Awesome. You know, I get nervous sometimes with resin because I'm like, is it going to break? Is it going to chip? Admittedly, I'm probably harder on my minis than I should be. But let me pull some of these out, and I can show you. You can see some of this quality goodness here. Alright, so this one, interesting, that the first one I grab is, I think, my favorite out of the lot. The dual-wielding guy on the thumbnail of tonight's video. Focus. It's a hobby video, but it's also an unboxing just because I want to show off these brilliant sculpts from Pagan Miniatures. Look at that, guys. Look how sharp those details are right out of the box. Again, I'm not sponsored. This is not like, you know, I've definitely seen cases before where somebody did an unboxing and they accidentally left a note in that said, this is for a product review, make sure that these are good parts. No, this is, again, I'm not sponsored. This is my order. You know, I paid for an order, and so I'm a regular Joe. Right out of the box. Okay, if we'll go back into focus. I'm just really, really impressed with the crisp detail here. Okay. Crisp detail. Maybe not crisp focus, but crisp detail. Come on, please. Please. It's a damn good job of focusing on my hand. Okay, so I had it for a few seconds there. Apparently, that's all I get. It's 5 seconds of crisp camera work. Anyways, yeah, so just super, super nice quality. There's another one of the Bondi here. So, Pagan Miniatures, these are their Viking miniatures. They're Sons of Odin. And what's really cool is they're fantasy Viking miniatures, but they strongly lean into a historical Viking kind of vibe. So, like a lot of the garments they wear, a lot of the armor they wear, a lot of the weapons that they use, you know, they're actually very much like what you would have seen historical Vikings wear. So it's like, again, fantasy with with a historical twist. Super, super, super profesh camera work, I know, guys. I apologize that I can't get my camera together, but oh man, I really want you to be able to see how crisp this stuff is. You know, I'm definitely, even before I paint it up, guys, aha! Look at that little focus there. So, I'm definitely going to be putting up some pictures. There we go. 20 seconds it was in focus. It looked cool. Yeah, you know what? I've got some paper right here. That's a good idea. Ice Wolf. You're definitely more than good looks, my friend. I need big brain ideas like that. Thank you. So, yeah, so that's another one of the Bondi. Again, very, very cool miniatures. Fantasy with a historical twist. They look great. And I'm super excited to paint all these guys up. You know, honestly, what I wanted these Viking miniatures for in the first place was to do a kind of diorama or scene of a Fenrisian village. I just think that would be really cool. Oh, this is cool. So these were not part of my order. This is something extra that they threw in. Hey, that paper did seem like it helped it come into focus a little faster. So this one is one of the owners of Pagan Miniature. The beautiful Sarah from Pagan Miniatures. Very cool. But even sexier is the other half here. It's a pair of miniatures. And it is our other owner of Pagan Miniatures. Look at that. That's the handsome Adam Dodge there. Look at that beautiful beast. Those are some after half a bottle of whiskey and still have good ideas. See? Perfect. Perfect. You know, I can't drink no more, but sometimes I'd have more of my good ideas after, you know, shooting back a little whiskey or having some Shiner Bock. Look at that. That is a beautiful, beautiful model of Adam Dodge. I am so excited to paint that up. Again, I'm excited to paint all this stuff up, guys. These are some badass models. Alright. Now, I'm not going to sit here and go through every single model with you guys, but I did want you to see some of the quality that we're looking at here with Pagan Miniatures. They make a very cool warband. What game system you're going to use the miniatures for? So I have a couple of plans here. I want to make, like I said, a little scene. I don't want to say diorama because I want them to use their individual. I want to be able to use their individual bases. Maybe more like a armies on parade kind of display. Of a Fenrisian village, but also I have several books up here for Frostgrave that I never got to use because we never got around to playing. I think like right as we were going to, 8th edition launched up and kind of changed the way that we play Warhammer. And then it was just been kind of Warhammer, Warhammer, Warhammer since then. And there's some other factors like the fact that, you know, we don't spend every Friday night. We do this live stream now instead of being in the hobby shop. So there are fewer games that we get in and stuff like that. So we just never got around to actually playing Frostgrave. Okay. This is a cool one. So this is just the upper torso of one of the werewolves. But look at that texture in the fur. Oh, let me get my little piece of paper back. Let's see if that helps. Immediately. This was the perfect stream for you to drop in on. Have a great night, Greg. And for scale, hold it next to a well-known mini. All right, that I can do. So you want to see the scale. What do I got here? I've got an orc boy here. So this is just the upper torso, but you can see right there. And let me get one of the full ones, like the champion we were looking at earlier. Actually, I've got right here the sculpt of Adam Dodge himself, the patriarch of Pagan Miniatures. All right, you can see Adam Dodge here about to take the head off of this orc boy. So he stands just a little bit taller than an orc boy. Of course, this is one of the smaller orc boys. Okay, I'm going to take the paper away for the detail and just kind of give you some standing scale here. So without a base, you know, he's standing about head and shoulders above the orc boy. Okay, put him close. You can see right about there. So if he were on his base of a similar size, of course, Adam Dodge is a giant of a man, so, you know. But there you go. So just, I'd say just a little bit bigger there than the orc boy. All right. But yeah, really cool stuff, guys. Like I said, I love the miniatures from this company. I got sidetracked, and while I was reading the comments, I tried to put the orc boy in the bag with these Pagan Miniatures. So super cool stuff, guys. I just wanted to show you how amazing this stuff is. Again, I'm not going to have you guys sit here through every single miniature, but man, I love what I've seen so far. And I'm going to take a quick look at all the goodies I got. Some more champions with axes. Guys, I highly recommend. Again, I just posted the link a moment ago to their site. Definitely check them out. Got some really cool miniatures, and I hope you guys, you know, see and fall in love with the sculpts the way I did. Okay, I said I wasn't going to show you every single one, but oh my gosh. This one is just such a coolly detailed sculpt. Guys, a Werewolf Shaman. They call him the Vargar. The Vargar? Vargar? Check this out, guys. Look at that detail. Okay, you can see this Werewolf Shaman. She's casting. Her hand is reaching out to cast something. I'm sure there's another bit to the staff that goes on here. But yeah, just that standing and casting pose for a shaman. Just looks so cool. And if I break my orc boy back out, of course, you know, I'm sure werewolves are supposed to be a bit bigger than a regular guy. Look at that. She towers over this orc boy. That's so cool. That's amazing. I can't wait to paint these guys up. I feel like all the work I've done on painting Wolfen, Thunder Wolves, Fenrisian Wolves has all been training for this moment. So excited. Here we've got some Viking Archers. Very cool. Here is an argument I saw going around some of the forums of the Middle Earth minis about whether or not to add string to bows. What do you guys think? Again, guys, I know I said I was going to stop and show you every single one, but I just love these miniatures. I had to show you how cool this one was. You see this big ass werewolf champion in kind of a boss pose, holding something up to his face. That's so cool. I love the the Viking miniatures, but the werewolf miniatures are honestly like my favorite. They're the main reason why I had to place an order. Another one of my favorite miniatures, Shield Maiden with sword and shield. Super cool. Werewolf Alpha. This one is a pose that he's howling up at the moon. Such cool miniatures. Got a Jarl. Werewolf Assassin. It's another one of my favorites. Oh my gosh, these are such cool miniatures, guys. Guys, another thing I didn't order, guys, some extra goodness. Holy crap. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I didn't order one of these. Oh my god, I have to get this open. I'm so excited. Guys, Pagan Miniatures really took care of us. Check this out. This is a massive size, giant werewolf, guys. Look at this. Look at this badass. And he comes with his own tree as part of the base. Look at this. Oh my god, this is so cool. That's massive. This is easily Dreadnought size. Bigger than Dreadnought size. Holy crap. Oh man. I already see longboats landing on beaches, discovering new lands, and out of the dark forest, the wolf spear. Yes. I was just looking at him on their site. It is such a cool model, guys. Okay. If you guys want to see this model, I've got the Pagan Miniatures website right here. I don't have the ability to pull up pictures like I usually do with Freak. But what I do want to do is give you guys a link to this big old beast. Absolutely phenomenal. Load more. Don't. Oh, also, Skull. There he is. Skull. Also, something I just found out today, I think it was announced on the Hobby Corner stream earlier today, and there may have been an announcement before that, but this was my first opportunity hearing it. If you go to the Pagan Miniatures website and sign up for their mailing list, something awesome that they're doing is every month, I believe, they'll do a drawing for a, what is it? I think it's a 30-pound coupon. And I mean, absolutely, you know, you're going to find plenty of cool stuff that you would want to spend on a coupon like that at Pagan Miniatures. Absolutely cool stuff. As my brother Kevin, the Hobby Corner, said earlier today, that, you know, they've got tons of stuff, well priced. They're not trying to break the bank with their miniatures. And so, you know, I think 30 pounds will get you kind of a lot of good stuff over at their website. All right. I'm so excited, guys. I was not expecting that. That is awesome. It's a lot of pounds, but a brilliant model. Yeah, the skull there is 55 pounds. But just to give you guys an example, if you like the werewolf stuff, the Werewolf Assassin is only 6 pounds. If you like the Werewolf Savage is only 6 pounds. If you like the Viking stuff, the Thane is only $5. If you want to go to the big... I keep saying dollars, I mean pounds. If you want to go with the Jarl, big boss of the Vikings, you've got the two options: the Jarl with the axe and shield, or the Jarl with the hammer. Both 9 pounds each, of course. The Berserker, 5 pounds. The Shield Maiden, 3 pounds. I mean, a lot of the stuff is extremely, extremely low price. But I can guarantee you guys, it's quality stuff. For a pair of Huskarls, okay, with dual weapons, 9 pounds. I mean, these guys are really, really well priced. If you want to go all in on some of their bundles, you can get a pack of the werewolves, the Vargr, for 50 pounds. So there's lots of cool stuff here. They also have other giant models, a lot like the skull we were looking at earlier, like Mountain Jotnar, which is 30 pounds. Okay, they've got some fantasy stuff like a Norse elf for 7 pounds. Just all extremely cool stuff, guys. Extremely cool stuff. I'm hella pleased. Thank you for the bless you. But yeah, it's cool stuff, guys. I'm super excited, and I don't mean to brag on all the cool stuff I got, guys. I just wanted to share some of this hobby goodness with you guys because I really, honestly, truly believe in their products. You know, these guys are my favorite miniatures company. So, of course, you know, I'm a massive Warhammer fan, and G-Dubs is my first love, but this right now is my favorite miniatures company. Alright, guys, what do you guys say we do some painting instead of just bragging and showing off what we got? I'm hella excited, guys. Hella excited. Printing myself with resin and FDM, everything looks expensive, but compared to G-Dubs, the prices are really fair. Well, there you go. And if you're interested in any of the STLs, if you like the sculpts but don't want to pay for the physical copies, they actually sell their STLs, I believe, on my mini factory. So look them up, Pagan Miniatures. Running Bear, how have you been, my friend? I hope you had a great holiday weekend. Man, some of you who have been chatting with me a while, you know, I like to talk about I have what I call a too much gene, stolen from Jenna Marbles, because often when I get into my hobby, and on the camera mythos, often when I'm painting, I will get to a point where I'm like pretty pleased with my work, and usually that would be a really good stopping point. But then Mr. Bright here says, you know what, let me do just a little bit more. Let me just do a little bit more. Let me just do a little bit more. Ah, I fluffed it up. So, I've heard it said many times that it's okay to chase perfection, but you got to know when to stop. True perfection is the enemy of progress, I have heard. And that's exactly what I did with this face last weekend. Nice. It's a good feeling when you got your miniatures out on display nicely on the shelf. Yep, so I had the face done to a nice standard. I said, hey, let me try a few things. And while I was trying a few things, I messed it up. Had to strip the face and start over. This is not Gray Seer. This is Gray Seer. So this is what I'm working on. What you working on, fam? What you got for Poke Chap? Have a great night, Ice Wolf. It was great chatting with you. And I appreciate your help tonight. Meeks, my brother, clap them cheeks, baby. What you working on tonight? You know, Brother Freak's not here tonight to tell people to clap your cheeks, so, you know, I got to fill in somehow. This is how I earn my keep. Got my kill team stuff together for game night at the shop tomorrow night. Awesome. Hey, look at us. We're both getting in some games this week. Man, I know Kill Team is your game, man, and I bet you are excited to finally get some Kill Team in after all this time. How did your week of chilling out, maxing, and relaxing like all is cool go? Did you get any painting done with your week of chillaxation? I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even a Kill Team person, because my thing is usually that I like being able to take my bigger toys. I want to be able to take vehicles. I want to take dreadnoughts. But definitely appreciate how cool a lot of the Kill Team stuff is. A lot of the Kill Team like stories, and just the small squads accomplishing big things is a lot more what like the stuff you hear in like the novels and stuff like that. I mean, sure, some of the novels are about big mass battles, but I feel like a lot more of the books are small isolated teams of stuff that gets done Kill Team style. Very nice, very nice. I know getting that hobby space cleaned up was a big thing on your to-do list. Let me tell you, my desk could use it badly. I was rumbling around trying to get stuff started for the stream tonight, and man, I was just like, oh my god, I got to clean up this hobby desk. Because you guys know, when it starts getting too cluttered up around your desk, you feel less productive in the hobby, Man, I need to adjust my light placement. I feel like all my painting is just getting whitewashed out by the lights. Have I started my league yet? Actually, so the G-Dubs, it's funny, because they were like, yeah, just keep an eye. Don't get me wrong. I love my local G-Dub store here in Kingwood. And the new manager running it is pretty awesome. But they were like, yeah, constantly, like the last 5 times I asked, they were like, yeah, just keep an eye on our Facebook. We'll definitely start posting up, information about the coming league and when signups will be. We'll announce all that stuff in advance. So finally, I get back from vacation today, and I look at their thing, and apparently they were like, by the way, this Saturday will be the start of our league and the kickoff. Be here at 8 a.m. And I'm like, what? So obviously, getting back today from vacation, I need to spend some one-on-one time with my lovely, gorgeous lady Lily this weekend. And so I just sent them a message saying, hey, I'm still willing to sign up. I'm happy to play, but I can't start until next week. So we'll see. I think I'm signed up. Now, with that though, I'm glad you asked, because I had now it's full steam ahead. Awesome, Meeks. I'm glad to hear, man. I want to see you get in so much more hobby stuff. Wish you both good luck. Thank you. So I want to get y'all's opinion. Okay, so it's an escalation league. I know that there are at least some new players, and one new player that hasn't played in 10 years. So already I think I'm going to lean more casual. My fear, though, is the unknown. Because on one hand, I never, ever, ever want to be that guy. At the last store I played at, I used to be the guy people referred new people to for casual, learn the game kind of games. Yeah, you're right. I might have gotten kicked out if I had chosen to go to the Escalation League while being gone. You know? Or at least very upset. But anyways, what I was saying is, so I know there are at least a couple of new people and at least one person returning to the hobby after 10 years. Now, here's the thing. The unknown is what worries me. And so here the unknown is that I've been asking myself, should I go with my orcs, which are one of my, for me, and I'm not saying orcs are just weak, okay? I know orcs have been doing really well, especially in like tournament settings and stuff like that. But for me, because I'm not that great with them yet, and because I'm still building my orcs, should I go with the orcs and be more casual and just play a weaker list? But what if I get a bunch of tryhards that want to just come in and, you know, yeah, exactly. I want to build the community. I don't want to bring the orcs. And I want to just have a good time and show them some of the cool, neat stuff, like my custom bone breaker with, you know, the rock and grout on top. But on the other hand, it's like, should I take my white scars and something that I have a little more confidence in, that if I go up against tryhards, you know, I won't just get slaughtered. That's the thing. That's the kind of the tricky thing for me, is like knowing where to draw the line and not knowing what the experience level and, you know, the strength is of my opponents. Like if I knew that they were all newer people or, you know, less strong people, wouldn't be a question. You know, I'd just go in, you know, and bring the dumbest lists I possibly could just to have a good time, you know. But if I get tryhards out there, my thing has never been a fear of losing. I don't mind losing if it's a good game. I just don't want to go in and feel that loss of control where you're just getting your groin stomped on for like, you know, 2 hours or whatever. Bring both and play off the cuff. See, the downside is that to register for the Escalation League, you have to declare your faction at the beginning of the league and build up from there. So that's why I'm like, I don't know what I want to bring. I thought about asking, because right now we're organizing through a Facebook event. I thought about posting in the event and asking what the general skill level and experiences of the other people. But at the same time, would that make me look egotistical? I mean, I'm not saying I'm a great player as is. I just don't need to know if I wanted, if I should try and defend myself from any really strong players out there, you know? Okay, that's fair. So bring the fun army, my orcs, and if I go up against a tryhard, challenge them with, you know, the stronger army. I like that idea. See, this is exactly the kind of talk I needed, Meeks and Running Bear. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'd go for the funner casual league army. If someone is a jerk, it takes a hyper competitive list. It's probably not going to be a fun game regardless of who you take. That's fair. That's fair. I think I'm gun shy in this way because I think the first little tournament that I ever went to, even though it was supposed to be it was a tournament for the very first escalation I signed up for. It was supposed to be a learning growing tournament for only like, you know, I think it was 500 to 1,000 points. And my very first opponent that day was against the guy who brought an Eldar list that first turn wiped me off the table. There's going to be a lot of Admech and Necrons and Death Guard, so I'd bring Wolves and run med game, so you can hit hard if you have to. That's a good point. I think I'm also going to be doing something that Redbeard advises, and Redbeard always says, if you find yourself as a painter at heart, go to competitive stuff like this and only try to win best painted, because anything else is a bonus, a cherry on top. But you know, your painting ability is something you do have control over. I'm like, that's pretty good advice. Wish we all were closer by to get in some games. Me too, my man. So I don't have the full list for like all of my opponents, but some people have already kind of posted in the event chat what they're bringing. So I'm just going to bring up the list real quick in case you guys are interested. Plus I'm trying to wait on that wash to dry. Let's see. Warhammer Kingwood. Chow. Events. Escalation. Alright, so Space Marines. Tal. Oh god. My hated enemy comes back in this competition. Tyranids. So one is Tyranids, and the Tyranids is also the person who hasn't played in over 10 years. So 500 points of the Fallen. So I guess, I mean, I'm not trying to make any Dark Angels jokes. You can only play the Fallen with Chaos Marines, so it looks like some Chaos and Fallen there. Space Wolves. So those are the people who have just, you know, announced what they're bringing. So Wolves, Space Marines, Tau, Tyranids, Fallen, and Space Wolves. So I already got 2 other Space Wolf armies. So that's why I'm thinking it'll be either my Scars or my Orcs. And I'm thinking just to go with the fun, less, you know, try and beat people down army. I think I'm gonna go with my Orcs. Not that I'm saying I'm super good and, you know, my White Scars beat people down. I'm just saying so that way I'm not, you know, limiting myself, I guess. Just gonna go for the more casual. Oh, Fallen. Okay, so what Fallen are is back in the 30k times, there was a whole division of the Dark Angels that basically went rogue, turned against the Primarch, and kind of fell to chaos. And they've been kind of renegade Dark Angels ever since. And that's always been the Dark Angels' greatest shame. So, like, one of their big missions in life is to hunt down Fallen and exterminate them because they're a big shame upon their legion. And the story of the Dark Angels and the Fallen is one of my favorite stories in all of 30k. Sahariel is a character that's just like Sahariel and Nemiel. They're 2 cousins, and they've just been some of my favorite characters in the entire Horus Heresy. With Cypher, yes, exactly. So, and those are the ones that, like I said, just posted in the group chat what they're playing. Also, the store manager, I was mentioning that I'm kind of like trying to choose between Space Marines and or White Scars and Orcs, and they're like, I'm gonna be honest with you, almost all the people are playing Space Marines so far of some form of faction, you know. And so I would really like to see more Xenos players, but you know, you do what you want to do, but I would like to encourage more Xenos players. So he was kind of like, huh? Go Orcs. So. Yeah, the mini from back in the day looks cool. The dual wielding kind of pose, I like it. A little bit of the Matrix in him. But the new Cypher model looks really good. The new mini Cypher looks like it's awesome. Although I was really surprised to find that big ass sword on Cypher's back doesn't actually have stats. It's all about the pistols, and that the big sword was really only an aura buff. I was like, what? It was really surprising to me. I see that big ass sword on his back, and it's so big it makes me think of like Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. All right, time to mix up another wash. That's the other thing. I'm all for variety, but as a Xenos fellow, when Space Marines fight, it just seems like a battle of armor saves. Yeah, the sword is a relic, absolutely. So something I've really enjoyed doing with my skin, the washes for my skin tones lately, is doing like 2 parts flesh tone, and then like 1 part, maybe even half a part of purple tone. Why do I do it? I don't know. I just really like the look at the end. I'm sure there's like some kind of a color theory explanation, or it could just be that I'm doing entirely wrong. But that's something I enjoy doing. I much prefer a Crusade League than Escalation. It looks like lots of fun and definitely less competitive, over the top, killy list building stuff. More narrative. It does seem cool. I agree. My thing, why I much more prefer the escalation style, is I just don't want to have to deal with the administrative stuff between sessions. You know, who's taken a wound, who's got debuffs, who's got buffs. You know, I mean, theoretically it sounds awesome, but I just don't want to do it. Like, I just don't want to do the extra stuff. And I know that I would end up forgetting a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I'd just be apologizing half the time Hey man, I'm sorry. I should have been able to hit you on threes. You know, I've got some kind of like gouge in the eye wound or something like that, and my ballistic skill is supposed to be -1. Ooh, sorry about that. I'm so bad about smacking the camera with paintbrushes. Are we getting fizzy about new kill team and deathcore of Krieg? Good morning, my brother. Oh man, got one of the best dressed chaps in all of the UK. Modeling for advantage. As Matt Smith says, bow ties are cool. Yeah, I don't even play kill team. I'm not really a kill team kind of person, but I love deathcore and I love orcs, and I mean it looks awesome. I'm pretty hyped about it. Do you have enough orcs painted? Yes. I mean, so I've only actually got 25 painted, like orc boys painted. Um, so I could always do with more. Hell yes, Krieg forever, baby. You right. So here's the thing: I could always paint up more orc boys, but I never really intended to be a boys before toys kind of player. I'm not really a horde kind of player, and more importantly, I don't feel like painting a horde. 25 is like the most horde I've ever done for anything. My admech comes close, I guess. Um, but I have a whole bunch of toys and elite stuff. You know, I've got knobs and war bosses and psychers. I've got 4 different dreadnoughts, even though you can only take them in a unit of 3. I just the Death Dreads are just cool and neat and fun to play around with, and you can do such variety of stuff with them. I've got the Bone Breaker, I've got another truck, I've got a flyer. Those are assembled but not painted. The flyer and the secondary truck. You know, I've got 10 commandos, I got 5 mega knobs, I got a lot of the elite stuff. Do I have enough orcs painted? Yes. I don't know exactly what I'll need for a big escalation league, but I've got enough that I can field a full. Or I think the last game I played with the orcs was 1700, and I had bits to spare, and I have stuff I'm adding all the time. Like if I ever make time to paint them, I've got 5 tank busters with some bomb squigs, you know. And so a squad of missile launcher guys never hurts anything. So I've got more stuff for them, and I've got stuff that I could add to the painting here. But I have enough for at least, you know, if I took everything I have, I'm pretty sure I could reach a 2,000 point list. Everything I have already painted. And I've got other stuff I can change out, so I won't just be stuck in a corner. What's cool is that I've watched a lot of these Deathcore of Krieg animations from independent guys when they were independent. And this particular one that we saw with the Kill Team trailer, I've already watched like almost scene for scene before when it was independent, except instead of orcs, it was like Chaos Marines. And it looked, I know they ended up picking up that artist, and I think they had to take that channel down. But it's interesting that it's almost scene for scene the same, but instead of orcs now, you know, it's chaos. Instead of chaos guys now, it's orcs. So it's interesting, you know, because when they started picking up some of these independent animators, you know, the big concern was, are they just buying them up to silence them, or are they going to do something with them? And at least for this one, I don't know about the Astartes guy, but at least I know for this guy, you know, like they've just made a few tweaks to make it orcs instead of chaos, and it works. You know, there was pretty much the same Deathcore Krieg scenes, so it's very cool. It has a nice cartoon aesthetic, which fits the orcs well. I think it also really fit the Deathcore well. I think they looked really, really cool in that animation style. Oh man, when you want to move on to that next stage of painting, but the washes are taking too long. Alright, what else can I do? I know I need to get the leather pouches on this belt. And I need to do the copper on the base. Now, typically, my favorite leather is... Oh, would you know it? I've already gotten that leather pouch and didn't even remember. Well, I guess we'll skip that and move straight on to the brass. You would like Kill Team if you gave it a try? You know, it is definitely possible. Like I said, my big thing is always wanting to take the bigger stuff. I love vehicles and stuff. Dreadnoughts. Those are my jam, but I don't think I would dislike it. So I think you're right. I think part of my big resistance right now is, you know, so far I've only gotten in 3 games this year. It's just like, with my games getting sparser and sparser at the moment, you know, I really have to prioritize what it is I'm playing, you know? 3, 4. Space Wolves, Orcs. Yeah, 3 games so far. That, and, you know, I'm not very big brain, so, you know, sometimes I'm like worried about trying to remember different rule sets, especially since I'm learning AOS this month. Thankfully, they've done a lot of things to make AOS and 40K more similar than they used to be. So maybe it won't be so bad. Kill Team 2, though, who knows? Maybe a complete redesign along the Warcry lines. Oh, so is this new Kill Team box coming along with new Kill Team rules? Is Kill Team 2 a new redesign coming? That I had not heard. But of course, you know me, I love miniatures, and I was more paying attention to the new, or to the factions that were being talked of in this new box. IDICBeer, my brother, happy freaking Friday, baby. I wonder what all is going to come in the Krieg Kill Team. Like, what could it be? You know, there's always like, I don't think that Krieg currently has a whole lot of different units, right? Like, they're the main Krieg infantry guy is just an engineer, right? They're engineers. you know, insert insert my ignorance of Imperial Guard right here, which is weird considering between Brother Atlas, Brother Ethan, and some other friends that we used to have at the local game store, I think Imperial Guard is probably who I've played against the most in my time of Warhammer, other than my brother's Imperial Fists. Alright. Got the sword done. I can't wait to put down the power effects. Ah, I know what else I'm missing for her. The cape. The cape. This is my test model, so I always got to go back and look and see what exactly did I do for that previous model. Alright, so the inside of her cape looks like it was maybe Dawnstone highlighted up to Gray Seer. Alright, I guess if I held it more mid-screen you can see. So... That's why for my first Sister of Battle mini, I painted up as a test. I did a Sister Superior because I wanted to have some of the flair of a special character, like, the extra cape and, a special weapon and stuff like that. But not so special like a Canoness or something similar, where I would, want to already have my scheme down and do a good job. I think doing a squad leader is a perfect place to start. It was a different approach, though. With the Ultramarines, I started with a standard troop choice. But then, when I went to do my HQs, I was like, okay, still kind of scrambling for what do I want to do for the extra flair, like the melee weapon and stuff like that. So that's why this time I started with the squad leader. Haven't heard yet, but it would make sense. Current kill team scale is kind of close to what they seem to be trying with combat patrol. It's true. Ended up selling all of the Imperial Guard army I had left. I think you mentioned that before. Your Angels are all you got left, right? Your Angels and your Legion of the Damned? Of all the armies that got a little bit of a spotlight in White Dwarf, where they got like some of their rules, they weren't included. Or what about Forge World? I wonder if they ever ended up revitalizing any rules for Legion of the Damned 9th edition. I know, interestingly, with a lot of the Forge World chapters, what they ended up doing was saying, hey, you can just do any successor traits you want, but here are some that we recommend. I thought that was an interesting direction to go. Like, these rules are not set in stone. So like the Carcadons and the Minotaurs, or Minotaurs for my UK friends. You know, they all had suggested rules, but really you could give them whatever successor chapter rules you want. I imagine it's probably the same with the Legion of the Damned. I imagine with the new strategic reserve rules that they have, you know, they're the Legion of the Damned ability to take units and deep strike them anywhere. It's probably a little redundant now, so I wonder what would be best be done. I know with the make your own successor chapter tactics, you can build some pretty strong combinations. Blood Angels, Grey Knights, Space Wolf, Death Watch, and last but not least, Legion of the Damned. Oh, you had more armies than I thought. I always remembered your Blood Angels because that's what I saw with you at the game store, and I'm like, oh, we got it in a game, but for some reason, it just seemed like we never quite lined up time. Either you already had a dance partner, or I already had a dance partner. Except for those couple times where we were playing on the same side in multiplayer games. That was kind of cool. 2v2s, 3v3s. I still come across that memory on Facebook every once in a while of that time that Joey from the game shop, he was the most experienced out of all of us. We were all of us were still kind of new, or revisiting in your case. And he took like 4,000 points of his Khorne Chaos Army, and there was like 5 or 6 of us with just a few hundred points each, and man, he slaughtered us. Of course, like I said, we were all brand new. We didn't know what we were doing. So, what I'd like to know, what your guys' thoughts are, is on this Death Krieg plastic release. Do you think it'll be one of those things where the Krieg models will get like 1, maybe 2 new units and plastic as a token gesture, but as far as like a codex release, it doesn't go anywhere? Or do you think this is hope for a full-fledged re-release for Krieg? Because it would be nice to see the return of some Krieg armies. Collection started since '99. That's something I almost lament, is I wish I had been around for the old school stuff. You know, a lot of you cool cats like yourself have these great stories about starting out when you were younger, and then it built up these massive collections and built up all kinds of skills and stuff like that. And you know, me not starting until I was 30, you know, I'm a bit behind the 8 ball on a lot of stuff, and I feel like I've made a lot of great progress with my painting and whatnot, even building.
as much as I hate resin, you know, even working with resin, I feel like I've come a bit of a ways with. But at the same time, it's like, how much better could I be if I had started way back when? Okay, that's looking pretty legit. That is not going to focus. You know what, let's do the paper technique, see if we can get that. I think it's going to go Warcry Kill Team release sets, not full army releases. That would be a shame. I think lots of people would like to see Krieg make a comeback. Okay, so we're not going to get a full super zoom, I don't think, especially since the closer I come to the camera, further away from the light I go. Alright, but anyways, got it shaded up now, and I think that purple and the flesh tone mix really make a nice difference. And now I think I'm going to go a little Vallejo. A little bit of Magenta Pink. Rosy up those cheeks a little bit. Alright guys, so call me crazy, but this Magenta Pink is a really vibrant pink, but it's not as bad as it looks because this fluoro stuff is a very translucent paint. And so what I'm going to do here is use this translucent pink. I'm going to spread it super thin on my little palette here. This palette is brought to you by Pringles. Once you pop, the fun don't stop. Make it super thin, and it's already translucent, so you can barely see it there. Right there. And I'm going to rosy up those cheeks a little bit, and I'm going to come back with an extremely thin down flesh tone over top of it, and see if I can just leave a hint of that pinkness in the cheeks. Might be like those Gellerpox dudes, single release of minis, leave you to spend tons of money on Forge World if you decide you want the rest of the Krieg army. Very well could be. But see, the reason I'm thinking that this could be a good sign of revitalizing is because with the rule sets they got back in the Forge World Index at the start of 9th, basically made them, to my understanding, of course, again, I don't play Imperial Guard, this is what I gather from other people who have talked about it, is that they really took a lot of the unit options and flavor away from Krieg and really just kind of made them, you know, aside from a couple of units like the Horsies and like the Engineers, they've really just made them into kind of generic, you know, another faction of Imperial Guard. So if that's the case, but they're getting a special Krieg box, maybe they'll bring some of that flavor back. That's just my thought anyways. Okay, this translucent blush is looking pretty good. Now, I just got to make sure that my too much gene doesn't let me go too much with this, because I don't want clown makeup. I just want a little bit of blush. A little bit of rosiness in the cheeks. A little bit of paint on the lips. But no, I definitely see your point, Kaiser. And you know, there's a good chance you're right. Hey, you like these Krieg guys? They were pretty fun to kill team, right? Right? Ka-ching! Now introducing Forge World. Feel free to spend boatloads of money on these Krieg guys for the rest of the army. If anybody is more well versed with Krieg than I am, what kind of units are you hoping to see for Krieg in this box? I hope you're right, but they did just sell us 5 guardsmen and a commissar for tons of money with Gaunt's Ghost. No evidence that the rest of the regiment is coming. As a very, very wise man once said, you right, you right. Cavalry, sir. Hussar. Yes, I definitely, I love cavalry in all games. And so I'm really, really looking forward to some Krieg cavalry. And they, before their points hike, they were considered one of the strongest screening units in the game. So hopefully that's something that continues. Now, for what they do, they're considered a bit expensive with this recent points hike, but that would be awesome to have the Kaiser join us, but I imagine being up this early, he'll probably be back asleep by the time we get to hobbying. Anyone here who is interested, though, we will be doing some Frost and Fist hobbying after the show tonight, and feel free to join us. Brother Heinrich, Brother Meeks, pretty sure going to be joining us. And probably a Kaiser. Very nice. Sorry if I go quiet on you. Trying to delicately do this glazing on the skin without messing it up. Because that's what I did last time. Is when I got to this stage, I trucked it up. Ended up wiping out, over highlighting, then messed up the makeup. And then there was no evidence of my shading. And it was a mess. And of course, I know part of my problem is that with glazing, I need to... I don't know why I keep trying to show you this face. This face is so tiny, it's not going to focus. I will just have to pop up some pictures on the Instagrams later on. But yeah, I know part of my problem is that when I'm glazing, I need to let it dry like twice as long as I normally do. Depends on if the Nurgling is still asleep. That'll be cool. I enjoy a good hangout with the Kaiser. Yeah, I was actually really surprised how expensive the Gaunt's Ghosts were, but I mean, I should have realized with them being tied to Black Library, they were going to be a little higher. But the fact that you can get the Gaunt's Ghost for more expensive than some vehicles was just like, oof. Oh, you can see I'm repping my Chilling Network merch again tonight. Love the Chilling Network stuff. One of my favorite hobby channels, along with some of the legends here, like Modeling for Advantage. To be fair, I totally missed your comment, Kaiju. I'm sorry. To be fair, it's an amazing time to have started. It was really hard to find painting tips when I was in high school and uni, and the models are significantly bigger and better now. That's a really fair point, Kaiju. Actually, and I think that's the only reason I have managed to progress as far as I have, is because we are in the age of information. When I first got into this, I mean, I still am very frequent for it, but like it was like as soon as I got into the hobby and started painting up my models and stuff like that, it was like I got bit by a bug. You know, every morning I was getting up at like 4:30 in the morning every morning to go to work for first shift in security, and you know, I'd be getting up, and while I was, you know, making coffee, putting my tie on, you know, all my normal morning stuff. You wake up at 4:30 in the morning. There's no one to talk to, obviously. You know, my spouse was still asleep, the kids are still asleep, and so that was kind of like my morning motivator that turned my brain on. Because I've always been the kind of person, even if I toss a ton of coffee, if my brain has not got something to focus on, it still has a hard time waking up. And so I would, as I'm making my morning coffee, like I said, putting on my tie and my uniform and all that good stuff, I would have my earphones on, listening to painting tutorials or trash terrain tutorials, or, you know, strategy tips, how to be better at the game. And so, yeah, it was cool stuff. Now, 7th edition was a different monster. Um, and, you know, it was possible to play full combat armies, or I guess they've kind of leaned into it a bit now, but you know, for 8th edition and whatnot, and maybe even a little of the early ninth, it wasn't as easy to play a full combat army. And so, like, the biggest shooting I had in my army at first was a couple of land speeders. They put in some work, though, but, you know, it's interesting to see how far I've come. Both, like, in my army builds, but also in painting. So you're right. It is an amazing time to have started now, just because the age of information. All right. I want to sit there and obsess over the face that I'm trying to glaze, but I know if I do, I will start messing with it before it's dry and ready. So what do you say we get started on this Wraithbone here? Even though the name of this paint is Wraithbone, I think I want a starker color. So we're going to go Gray Seer. What you grumbling about there, Commander? Well, I think while I was on vacation this week, I dare say, my little pupper girl missed me. For those of you wondering where my handsome brother Freak is, You may have heard on our updates last week that he recently bought a new house, and yeah, he's doing all his packing and getting ready this week, and he begins the move next week. He did say hopefully after that, though, he'll have the internet hooked up at his new place, and he'll be ready for streaming. So, in fact, next week, I regret to inform you, you won't have either of us, but it's for a good reason. Like I said, Freak is moving, and I know a lot of you are probably like, well, that's awesome. That probably means you're going to be helping your brother out next weekend. The answer is no. Not because I don't want to, but also because, really neat, they've opened up live shows here, and the WWE is back on the road. And so their first stop is going to be here in Houston. And that next Friday night, I have tickets to take my ladies to go see WWE SmackDown. And so, yeah, be taking them to their first live show next week. That'll be very, very cool. I'm really looking forward to that. So, since Freak will be moving next weekend, and I will be taking the ladies to a show, unfortunately, next week we will have to cancel the stream. Roman Reigns, baby! Yeah, we will be seeing Roman Reigns. He is one of those that are listed for special appearances and whatnot. And I think from what I was reading on their site, I think the ones that they list as a quote-unquote special feature going to see them in person, I think those are the ones that will be around for things like autographs and stuff like that, which will be cool. My favorite of the Friday night stars that I'll be going to see is probably Seth Rollins. It'll be cool. I've got my Monday Night Messiah shirt, so I'm looking forward to getting that maybe autographed, or at least representing. So, pretty stoked. I met him once about 4 years ago. He's a pretty nice guy. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people have the mistaken opinion that those who play heels are also jerks, in real life too. But a lot of the heels turn out to be like super nice guys in real life. I haven't always been a huge Roman Reigns fan, but I have definitely really enjoyed his heel turn. It's been really fun. Just the almost mafia style, do it for the family kind of attitude he's got. It's been pretty cool. Sorry, I know I was doing that off camera, but I was cleaning up the line between where the Wraithbone Gauntlet starts and the red jacket stops. And I just wanted to be really precise because, you know, white on red is okay to clean up, but red on white, it's miserable to clean up, you know? At some point, Space Wolves Gray, that is Black Templar. That was almost a mistake. At some point, Space Wolves Gray has become my shade color for almost every color. Not only am I stoked to meet the Messiah, I hope that'll be something that I can do, but also, speaking of the Messiah, you know, I've heard that his wife, Becky Lynch, has been seen training around the arena lately, so she's back in training. Hopefully we'll see the Mon come back to the show sometime soon. No telling which brand she'll come back to because she was out on maternity the last draft, but either way, I'd watch her on any of the main 3 brands. Heck, I'd watch her pretty much anywhere. The Mon is just awesome. Okay, I just adjusted the light a little bit. It looks like it's washing out the white a little less here. Looking good so far, bud. Thank you. Not picked up a brush in over a month. I have built a couple models, just can't get any painting right now. Yeah, it's all good, brother. Sometimes you do that. You just go through phases. Hey, right now I want to build. Right now I want to paint. It's all good to go through phases. Hell, any progress is forward progress, right? New laptop, getting used to it. Nice. Well, congrats on the new toys, my man. All right. Got that no gloss in the recesses so we can see each individual finger. Hey, you can actually see each little individual finger there. Finally, some zoom. All right. So, yeah. Once that no gloss dries, clean up some of that wash with a little bit of a highlight, and that model should be ready to go. Again, still debating on whether or not to add a little glow to the bottom of this digital kind of, you know, where it's walking out of the void gate, but I'm not sure. Actually, might just call it a day there. Just because I've done a metallic color shift paint for the digital void gate kind of thing. And so I don't know what color I would use for a glow. Maybe a fluoro blue? Would that even look right with the color shift paint? I don't know. Been playing a new mod for 7 Days to Die. Nice. Well, tell me a little bit about this mod, my friend. What's it like? What's different? What did they change? Alright, now that we've got Kyganel done, check in on this lovely face here. I actually really like how that blush came out. I did see, though, that I didn't apply enough of it on one side because I'm trying to be careful, trying not to go overboard. Again, you know, I've got a little bit of a too much gene. That's the downside of glazing. Make a little change, wait forever for it to dry. Make a little change, wait forever for it to dry. Gyrocops? Like gyrocopters? Man, guys, I think Gray Seer is the perfect white, off-white color to paint on top of black. Couple of coats, it comes out nice and smooth. That's cool. I didn't even know that was a thing in 7 days, brother. My beautiful, beautiful Lily is only a few days away from her final exams for her summer school courses. And she's been stressing out with very little time to play anything. You know, because for when you take a college course over the summer, they try and crank everything for a full course into just a couple of weeks, right? And so she's been really stressed and really working her tail off. Super proud of her. But that hasn't left her with a lot of time to play big games. So, like before vacation, you know, we played just a couple rounds of Phasmophobia with some of the new updates and stuff like that. That was cool. But another thing she's done, since she doesn't have a ton of time to spend on games, she played a little bit of power washing simulator. And at first I laughed. I'm like, man, that sounds like kind of a silly game to play. You know, you could go out and power wash something for real. You know, just joking with her. Man, earlier today, I must have sat there and watched her play it for like half an hour straight. It's just something oddly satisfying about it. I can't even put it into words. I have no idea why I watched her play it for half an hour. I was just doing it. Again, it's just oddly satisfying. Took a nap too. It was great white noise for going to sleep. Always glad to hear someone wanting to improve themselves. I think she's got her headset in because she's working on math stuff right now, but if you can hear me, babe, Running Bear says, way to go. She says, thank you. I just got started with the mod, day 1 done. So many new zombie types. Seems like a fairly tough, like a Wendigo zombies and some robots. All kinds of things. Wow, that sounds pretty tough. Joe Bookish, rock on. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you indeed. Hey guys, just getting some hobby on together. And in fact, here it's almost 11 o'clock, and we are going to be in a little bit we'll be ending the stream, but then we'll be doing some hobby together, off camera of course, if anyone's camera shy. These after party hangouts are just a couple of us getting together and hanging out like friends, doing some painting together, doing some hobby. I'm going to be assembling some of this Dominion stuff and some of this awesome Pagan Miniature stuff, so it'll just be straight up assembly for me. But yeah, so if anyone is interested in joining us in a hobby hangout, sounds like we got Brother Meeks coming on board to do some hobbying. Possibly modeling for Advantage Kaiser, maybe a kaiju. You know, so we always have legends. Wybird is almost always there. He loves showing up for these. Brother Heinrich will be joining us tonight. So if you guys want to get in on some group hobby session after the show, hit me up. Let me know. I'll be throwing out some links. It'll be just a few minutes, as usual, whenever we end the show. I usually take a quick bio, make a fresh cup of coffee, you know, get myself ready for a nice long hobby session, and then we throw out some links. Do we? Yeah, absolutely. It's always a good time getting my hobby on with these legends. Legends. Every once in a while, one of our early rising chilling network brothers will hop on for a little bit. Getting ready for work. Once we got a Kev on his way to work. That was cool. Finally under 100 degrees. Only took till 8:40 tonight. Oof. Man, it was only like late 80s, or late 90s, I mean. No, late 80s, early 90s for us. But the humidity this whole week has been just like a freaking sauna. Because we've had the heat, but we've also had like almost constant rainstorms for the past 2 weeks. So every single time the sun comes out, it is just like instant sauna. Man, just that little bit of gold on the edge of the backpack where the little straps are really helps it pop. Now, I'm not going to glue her backpack in place yet because I still need to airbrush that power sword. But I mean, aside from needing to finish her face and do that power sword, man, she's looking pretty sharp. I'll probably go in there and airbrush some of the creases in her cape too. That's why I moved to Oregon. Man, I don't blame you. I still think you should come down to Texas, but you know. But whatevs, whatevs. Every time you just think though, every time you complain about, you know, the crazy stuff going on in Oregon, I'm gonna be like, Texas, Texas. Well, it's only 32% humidity. That's not too bad. But yeah, look at it. I think she's ready to be finished up soon. I think just a few more cleanups on Kaiganel's new bone glove, bone gauntlet. He's ready to go. And that'll be my first 3 Sisters of Battle minis done. Just a little airbrush of the power sword, airbrush of the cape, good to go. Maybe a little airbrush of OSL from this digital thing. How does the digital portal even work? Like, does it cast light? I don't know. That's a lot of motion and good contrast, such a good model. I agree. I love, love, love this sculpt. As soon as I saw this sculpt, this was just when I saw a Warhammer community article. That was before, I'm sitting there holding her behind my ugly mug. But yeah, when I saw the dynamic pose and just how cool this model is, I knew I had to have her. And that was before I found out she came with a badass Elven Bodyguard. And this bodyguard's one of my favorite things now too, because I love... So I was doing the Bloody Rose colors, as you can see the armor here. But when I started doing it on him, it really started to feel like Dante from Devil May Cry vibes. So I really leaned hard into that. And I really love the way that came out. So can't wait to put them... I can't wait to put one on the battlefield. Hey, I should have bought one. Hey, I found mine on Amazon and put it on my wish list, and Lily picked it up. And so I was just about to tell you how much I found it on Amazon for, but I don't actually know because it was a gift. But it's on Amazon. Lars, my brother, good to see you as always. And as I always say, my favorite Sisters of Battle and Orc player. And of course, that's no shade to any of the amazing Orc channels that I follow. It's just I've seen this guy in Orky action in real life. And he taught me the value of Mega Knobs and War Boss on Bike and cool stuff like that. So, incredibly skilled, incredibly skilled. She should have had Deadpool as a bodyguard. I think that would have been funny. Yeah, that's true. That's true. For sure, for sure. Working on my sisters right now. Did you finally decide? Is that what you're taking to the tournament? Your Sisters of Battle? I know you were kind of going back and forth between the two. Sisters is probably a good call, though. Sisters have been doing pretty well in tournaments. Not like top tier or anything, but they've been doing really well. Brother Lars, if anyone's interested, it's going to be going to the Lone Star tournament here in Texas. And he is one of the most skilled players I know. So he's going to be, I'm sure he'll do pretty well at the tournament. Bedtime, brother. Glad I caught you tonight. Hopefully, I can catch the stream again soon. Man, I'm so glad you stopped by, brother. Have an awesome night. We're going to be hanging it up here in about 4 minutes anyways and transitioning over to our hobby hangout. Hope to see you again soon, brother. So, I told you guys earlier in the stream that I'm going to be getting in a game soon with Brother Atlas this Sunday with my White Scars, and then he's going to take me through my first learner game of X-Wing, which I'm really, really stoked for because I've got Poe from the starter set, and I've got Saw's Renegades, which includes another X-Wing, a custom black and white X-Wing, and a custom U-Wing. And I think the U-Wing so far, like aesthetically, is my favorite design of ship. So I'm pretty stoked. And that brings me to another point. So apparently these games of X-Wing go much faster. And I know we primarily focus on 40K, and it's been a hot minute since we've done any battle reports. And of course, we will eventually get back to it soon. When you only get to play 3 games a year so far, you know, it's hard to actually make time to set up the camera and stuff like that for a battle report. But we do plan on eventually getting back to that once Freak and I knock off some of the rust and get used to playing again, because we know we'll probably make a lot of mistakes on camera. But we just want to get back in the rhythm of actually playing before we do any battle reports. That being said, though, since the X-Wing games tend to be much, much shorter and more digestible chunks, I'm interested to know if any of you guys will be interested in seeing any X-Wing content coming through as Freak and I learn the game with Brother Atlas, you know. So that could be something we could probably fit in more games of. And that's why one of the reasons why we're getting into it is because, you know, something that is a shorter game, if we don't have time to set aside, you know, 2, 3, 4 hours for a 40K game, maybe we could sit down and knock out a much shorter game. Just something to do to hang out when we don't have a load of time, you know? You know what I mean, Vern? Thanks for the faith. I have no idea how it's going to go. I'll get some games in. That's the main thing. That's why I signed up for the Escalation League with the local G-Dubs, and that kicks off this weekend. I told him I can't play this weekend, but I will be joining in next week. I know you were thinking about signing up, so that will be pretty awesome. Just getting, like you said, getting some games in. That's been the big thing. And, of course, you know, like, one of the things I'm excited for most is that when we played pickup games at the store that we used to hang out at, you know, that was, you faced a different army all the time, and you know, yes, I'm excited, Lars. I met this guy at an Escalation League. That's how we became friends. So I'm excited to be in an Escalation League with him again. I don't know which faction. I was just talking to the chat earlier. I'm debating back and forth between my White Scars as my stronger army or my Orcs as my more fun army, but I don't know what the experience level or skill level is of the people in the army. The consensus from the chat earlier seems to be to take the Orcs, have fun, and if I go against some tryhards, you know, try not to take that too hard and just maybe, you know, play them again for realsies, you know, with one of my better armies later on. I just don't want, I hope I don't go against, you know, like, oh, it turns out 3/4 of them are better than me, and you know, I don't have my best army to defend myself with. And I'm like, Again, I don't mind losing. I just don't want to get, you know, into a helpless situation where it's like I'm just being stomped on. But I think I'm going to do what works. It's a long way to say. That's how I do, though. I take simple explanations, and then I add way too many words to them. But I don't know. Fallback, it might be my Scars. Or, since I have a billion Space Wolf models, who knows? I might take my main army. I don't know. Now I've added a third one. Now I'm really being inconsistent. And then just rotating through. Take my AdMech. Although with the new AdMech code, it's so different from the AdMech I've played before, I probably would not be a good idea. I don't know anything about how the new stuff works, other than what I've seen videos on. Anyways, I'm rambling now, guys. So, I appreciate you all for hanging out with me tonight. Look at this. This is... Orcs will be good for fun. I'm torn. That's probably what I'm going to do is Orcs. So I've got some good progress this week. Almost my first Three Sisters models all painted up. Doing some building, and we're going to go into more building right now. Doing some Dominion stuff. Super cool. Got my new X-Wing stuff. Breaking that out this weekend. So just lots of hobby news this week, guys. New X-Wing stuff. And, of course, oh my god, like 14 pounds of beautiful metal miniatures from Pagan Miniatures. So I showed you guys tonight. I showed in one of the previous commercials some of the really cool models. And I just want to make sure that I post that up here again. But I think, like I said, I was thinking we've got a lot of good stuff done this week. Open in web browser. Again, I did the unboxing earlier, not because I'm trying to brag that, hey, I got cool stuff, but I just really love the products over at Pagan Miniatures. There's the link again. I highly recommend anyone check it out. And if you're a 3D printer, you like printing your own miniatures, and you like saving some cash, you can go to My Minis Factory and or My Mini Factory, and you can get the STLs, print them off yourself. Really great company, really great miniatures, super crisp detail. Freaking love all of their stuff. And I say it all the time, the best Viking and Werewolf models on the market. They got a great elf. They got some really big models too. If you need a monster for like your D&D campaign or something, they've got a giant mountain Yopnar. They've got a really another giant werewolf called a skull. Super cool stuff, guys. I love their work over at Pagan Miniatures. Please go check it out. Not sponsored. Again, I bought these. I got sent the giant skull and the models of the owners as a gift. So I'm super stoked with that. Thank you guys so much. But yeah, the rest of it was my order, and I just love their stuff. Like, again, I'm not sponsored. I'm promoting their stuff purely because I love their work. Anyways, I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys tonight. Got some work done while we hung out. Like I said, I'm so close to finishing these guys. So I appreciate you guys hanging with me while I get some work. We will be doing a hobby hangout. Shoot me a message if you want to hang out with us. Do a little hobbying with us. If you guys like tonight's episode, make sure that you grab up an ox and smash that like button in the name of the Emperor. Drop us some comments down below. If you're watching from the archives, feel free to be part of any of these ridiculous conversations. And if you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel, then even though he's only here with us in spirit, I know Freakaliciousness and this guy would love to have you as part of the pack here on the Frost and Fists. Check out the link below for all of our Chilling Network brothers. And until next time, guys, stay frosty. Big loves, guys.